Hello, my name is Matthew Venzi, and this is my RA reapplication for the 2026-2027 year. I first want to go into a little bit about myself. So I am currently an RA at Towers, and I am a double major in applied mathematics and statistics. And I am, of course, looking to be an RA again in the 2026-2027 year. So far, I've really enjoyed meeting and leading residents, and I've really liked being able to help residents transition from high school to college and have like a smooth transition to where they can make new friends and enjoy their time here. I have gained a lot more confidence so far in being able to lead and talk with these residents and help these residents and support them as best they need. I've also learned a lot of more organizational responsibility, as I've had to plan multiple events and work with my residents and my fellow RAs in planning these events. I've also had to learn how to efficiently work in a team. Again, when it comes to planning events or being on duty shifts, you have to communicate with your fellow RAs and kind of figure out which responsibilities each RA should have for those duty shifts and also for the events. I've also learned through that how to communicate and connect with residents while still maintaining respect. As I've grown more confident, I've learned that residents will respect you more, and once you have that respect, I feel you can have a much better connection with them. I hope to meet new residents as well in the coming year and provide more further assistance in the incoming freshmen's transition from high school to college, as that is something I feel is very valuable. I also want to continue to be a role model and a support system for those incoming residents and gain even more leadership experience and more confidence in my ability to lead teams and just floors of people. And I also really think it's important to experience that sort of responsibility. I also want to continue to learn how to work and collaborate with the incoming RAs. When it comes to mentorship and with the incoming RAs, I plan on welcoming them by trying to establish a friendship and connection early on. This is just by being a friendly face and introducing myself and kind of just breaking the ice. I'd of course explain the position and show them that they have my support and it's not as scary as it seems. And I will also of course answer any questions they have and be there to help them along the way. Now, in terms of role modeling, I would like to show these incoming RAs how to properly do rounds by, of course, having them shadow me as we did this year. And then when dealing with IRs, I'll take the lead, at least at first, and just kind of show them how it works. Same with duty log, same with many of the RA responsibilities. Just kind of be a guide for them, and then also start to incorporate them into that responsibility to where they're actually getting experience. But ultimately, I want to be able to show them at first how it, and then also just kind of assist them with these responsibilities. And then I also want to help them work with other RAs by getting them involved, as I just said, just getting them involved in the responsibilities of an RA, like event planning and duty logs, and writing IRs, dealing with situations in general. But again, maybe earlier on, just taking more of a lead on it, as they'll probably be less confident in their ability to take charge. And then when it comes to resident impact, I would say one of the residents I've had, my favorite impact I've had so far was with one of my residents who had gotten into a Yukon a cappella group, and I actually have a good friend in that group and have met many people in that group. And I was actually very proud of him when I heard about this, and I congratulated him, of course. And but he had come to me a little worried about meeting everybody and integrating into the group. So I talked to him about it, and I listened to him, and I think I explained to him that they were really nice guys and they have a lot of fun, and he's gonna have a lot of fun with them, and they're gonna make sure he smoothly integrates into that group. And I told him, I reassured him that he's gonna have a great time because I knew them personally and they're great guys. And so during this conversation, what I tried to best use was my active listening skills. I think this is very important for RAs to use when it comes to residents expressing their feelings to you, because if you're not listening to what they're saying, you can't really respond properly to what they're saying. You can't really help them and support them. So I used that skill to try and understand where he's coming from, why he's stressed, why I was worried, and I just confidently reassured him that it'll be okay, and that um, that these people were good people, and that it's going to seem scary at first, but that you'll break the ice and you'll integrate smoothly. And he ended up really enjoying the group. I asked him after his like first time doing a group a cappella practice, and he had a great time. And I continue to check in on him with the group, and he's been telling me he's been having an amazing time with the group, and it's been an amazing experience for him. And so I'm really happy for him because he was able to find his a group of people that he can really connect with. During this, I collaborated with the residential learning model by communicating confidently and consciously, and by showing him that I heard and understand his feelings. And I will continue to make an impact by being there to support students when they need me, and continue to actively listen to them so that I can properly respond and support them, and show that I'm listening and that I hear their feelings. For problem solving, I would say an issue that we had this year where it maybe wasn't as clear as how we were supposed to handle it was when I had a situation where someone had walked into a resident's room uninvited, and that had of course made them uncomfortable, and then they ended up returning the next day and knocking on the door, and that's when the resident ended up calling us because they were freaked out about whoever this person was coming back. So the issue was that they didn't call us the night before when it had first happened, and then the resident had first came into the room and started making them uncomfortable. And so this was our first time hearing of the situation. So we of course went up and we tried to help her best we could. We didn't know whether this was a situation. The part that wasn't very clear was whether this was a situation in which we should call the police or not. So what we first did was just respond to the situation. We went up to the room, we talked to the resident, we learned about the situation, what would have happened. We learned that this wasn't a first time thing, and that was why she was calling, getting worried. And we of course cared about her safety, so we wanted to make sure this was a situation, we wanted to figure out if this was a situation where the cops needed to get involved. So we just asked questions, and we tried to get as many details as we could about the perpetrator, and we explained that we were there for her, and we tried comforting her, and we told her what we were going to do to help. We told her we were going to write the IR and have people look into it, and we also did, of course, the next day check up on the residents to see if there are any further issues. and it seemed that there had not been any further issues. But after we had spoke to the resident, we called the hall director to see if this was a situation that um, should be pursued by the police. The hall director on duty did not say it was necessary, but we did, of course, write the IR in great detail to make sure we had the best description we could of the person, um, the perpetrator, and then we just made sure to check up on the resident afterwards to see if any further issues were coming up, and it seemed that there was not any further issues. But we did try to reassure her, and she seemed to feel a lot better after we had responded to the situation and talked about it and told her that we were going to try and handle it and write an incident report and let people or let officials know, not officials, but let um, residential life know of the situation. So yeah, that was, I think, a situation that where it just wasn't very clear at first what we were supposed to do. Um, so what we ended up doing to solve that issue was to talk to the hall director and also to solve to ease the resident's mind. We talked to her and got the description and made sure she knew that we were working on the situation and that we were right and that we were reporting it. And so yeah, that's it for my presentation, and I very much look forward to working with future RAs and meeting future residents and being able to continue to help residents transition into college and have an amazing time here at the University of Connecticut. And I'm excited to be an RA in 2026-2027 year.